Well, it's beginning to look like Mufasa could lose to Sonic 3 at the box office this holiday season, and Disney has every reason to stop it from becoming so. And so, they're willing to pay almost anything to keep investors from finding out just how unpopular their brands have become, losing perhaps to the blue blur unless they're willing to spend huge sums of money to kick it out of theaters. Folks, this is a story that Paramount might not find too funny. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we, as ever, endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of that culture curve. And today we're telling you why we're having to reassess how Sonic 3 and Mufasa are going to perform at the box office. It has everything to do with Disney doing everything they can do to make sure that Mufasa wins, even if it means Mufasa losing secretly in terms of financial flop status. We'll tell you all about it. You click the like button. Panel, here we go. All right, folks. Michaela Z and Jack Dunn are the authors of this one out of Variety. Today's topic is that Disney is doing everything they can to save The Lion King, and there's real reasons behind this. As we go through this topic, though, keep in your mind that artificial intelligence generated video, AI-generated video, is putting all of this on a timeline. So as impressive as this looks, the days are numbered for Disney doing this. So, Mufasa the Lion King's first reactions praise Disney film as the perfect prequel with astounding visuals, a story that deserves to be told. Now, that's a headline that would make you believe that they've really pulled off a big trick here. We know that the director of the film has not sounded this confident. And so when I saw this headline, I thought to myself, well, what is that all about exactly? I want to remind everybody that variety is one of the trades. And the trades, they are the publications that carry the water for the corporations. They carry what is supposed to be the official orthodoxy accepted and spoken out loud in Hollywood. If you don't agree with the trades, you don't say it out loud. So the official narrative is going to be that the first reactions are hugely praiseworthy of Disney, and then that will spawn all of these articles asserting the same thing from the drive-bys. But I want everyone to stay with this, because when we get to the bottom of the article, I want you to compare the headline. Okay, everybody remember this. Write it down in your notes. Mental notes, of course. Remember the headline versus what the actual reviews are when we get to the bottom. And yes, they buried them in the bottom for a reason. The first reactions to Disney's Mufasa the Lion King have started pouring in on social media, and members of the press are roaring with excitement over the prequel to the 2019 photorealistic remake of The Lion King. They're great. Mufasa the Lion King is the perfect prequel, wrote Variety's. Wait a minute. Hold on a second, everybody. Variety's senior artisan editor? Wait a minute. We're reading from Variety. All this is going to matter when we get to the bottom, I promise. Mufasa the Lion King is a perfect prequel, wrote Variety, which is being reported on by Variety. So beautifully crafted. The songs by Lin-Manuel Miranda and Nicholas Britell's score are absolutely divine. And music to the ears. Pure joy. Film independent writer Dana Abercrombie praised the film as a story that deserves to be told, that makes you question what is destiny. I can assure you all, I will not question destiny from a Lion King movie. I can assure everybody out there, there are few films that will make me question something so fundamental to the human experience. So I don't think it's going to come from the Lion King. Comicbook.com's Chris Killian admitted that a Lion King prequel was not something I was asking for, but the animation is incredible. The songs by Lin-Manuel Miranda are infectious, and the vocal performances make Mufasa, dare I say, better than the 2019 version of Lion King.
Is that really hard to achieve?
Well, exactly. That, by the way, the original Lion King, the animated, let's separate that out. It is a masterpiece. The CGI done by Jon Favreau, it scored a huge amount of its total box office from China. The rest of the world really wasn't all that enamored with it. But China was blown away with it because they never saw the animated Lion King. So this was a brand new story for them. So that's where that huge, huge box office came from. Let's scroll down now, folks. I want to scroll down because I want to show you this. We're going to get down to the actual reviews. Here's where we get check out more reactions below. So here are the actual reviews in total. Now, the film review embargo is still in place, so we don't get the big ones. But these are the reactions. I want to compare the headline with the actual full reactions where we have them with their total context. Here we go. From Michael J. Lee at I am Michael J. Lee. Mufasa the Lion King is an unexpected, bloodthirsty prequel. That's an interesting way to describe it. With stunning visuals and cinematography, but contains subpar songs that don't advance a contrived story. It's fine for those interested learning about Mufasa and Taka's origins. At least the humor provides laughs and levity. Now that's not a very strong reaction. Let's go down.
That's what I'm always looking for my jokes, laughs and levity.
I always,
the jokes are humorous. Thank you very much.
I want my family's prequel Christmas experience to be bloodthirsty.
We are quite amused.
John Guyon says Mufasa is a fantastic prequel that outdoes the first photorealistic The Lion King movie by a mile, with an original engaging story, better facial animation, and fun songs by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It ties nicely to the previous film story, and you get to see how it all started. Okay, that's a good one. But no caveats. It's good. Let's read the last two. Be prepared. Mufasa the Lion King occasionally suffers from a bout of prequelitis, but otherwise this movie functions as pleasantly diverting, though semi-tragic, family fare for the holiday season.
Oh dear.
Enough drama, adventure, and laughs to fill its slightly overlong runtime. And that is coming from Laughing Place.
Hey Derek, can I ask a question here? Hey Derek, let's say you decide to make a film. What kind of reviews are you looking for on your film? If they called you pleasantly diverting, would you feel like that was a success?
Woof.
Oh, no. Especially though semi-tragic. It's like, okay, you're telling us that this is not going to be fun for the holidays. This is probably going to be very this is going to drive more people to go to see Sonic. Because I'm like, hey, I'm all in for Sonic, and this doesn't sound like a movie that I'm going to be interested in watching.
Hashtag Mufasa the Lion King was not my most unfavoritist movie of the year.
Well, the other thing to pay attention to here is Laughing Place. Guys, Laughing Place is not a huge outlet. Laughing Place is one of those websites that whoever's on it is very happy to get invited to.
Oh, yeah, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel on this one, or at least trying to get any good publicity that they can, any positive, mildly positive ratings or reviews. Yeah, this is not good.
So if getting invited to a movie premiere from Disney is like make or break for you, so you literally can't say anything negative about it, and I'm not saying that is the case for Laughing Place. Let's just play along with the hypothetical. But if that's the situation and all you can muster is, it's pleasantly diverting, like that is towing the line between I want to be on the media list and I don't want to lose the credibility of the few that I have reading my stuff. Anyway,
it's like if your spouse looks at you and says, "I'm quite fond of you,"
right? Considering this is coming on the heels of one of their bigger hits, The Lion King, you don't want the follow-up to sound like it's all right. You don't want the follow-up to sound like that. You want to get people, wow, they really outdid themselves. This is an amazing, prequel to one of the greatest, movies in Disney's history. That's what you want it to be. Yeah, this doesn't sound very inviting.
Also pointing out that The Lion King, the 2019 version of The Lion King, was one of the last clear hits for the Disney company based off how much it cost versus how much they actually made on it. This one made more than $1 billion. And Favreau, if you happen to be listening today, no offense to you, this is a film that probably would have made $1 billion whether or not you worked on it.
So let's take a look now at why the trades are doing this. Why are we going to get this massive PR push to save The Lion King? Well, out of Box Office Pro, it says long-range forecast, can Mufasa the Lion King break out in a crowded December frame? Here's what it says. The domestic opening weekend range for The Lion King, Mufasa, is as low as $55 million. Disney, not to mention cinemas, hopes for a return to pre-pandemic success levels with the mid-December release of Mufasa, a Lion King sequel directed by Moonlight's Barry Jenkins. The latest in Disney's series of reimaginings of some of its classic animated films, Mufasa has a lot to live up to its immediate predecessor, director Jon Favreau's photorealistic remake of The Lion King, which had a $543 million domestic total. Remember, again, driven largely internationally by China. Lagging behind only the juggernaut that was Avengers Endgame, though Mufasa isn't expected to open near the heights of 2019's The Lion King, which begs the question why, which almost passed the $200 million mark in 3 days. Its holiday release should be beneficial, even as Disney continues to course correct its recent box office trends. Now, here's where we get into the point. This is why it is an all-out race to rescue this film. According to Box Office Pro, our opening weekend range of 55 to 85 million would put Mufasa in line with 2014's Maleficent.
Oh.
Yeah. And that is without taking into consideration inflation. So, panel, was Maleficent successful?
No.
Ooh.
I mean, it was successful enough, I guess, for the time.
That was the kind of that was Disney attempting their that we can do a Wicked as well. By the way, that was not a. It's a horrible film, by the way, and
terrible. I was so excited for it too, and they turned the Mistress of All Evil into Glinda the Good. She gave Aurora True Love's kiss. Spoilers, by the way. I almost walked out of the theater.
Right, and also the sequel. I have a pretty low threshold for things that I will put on in the background, and maybe I'll chuckle at how bad it is. One of the few instances where I have literally fallen asleep, woken up, looked at the TV, and it was Chiwetel Ejiofor who plays Baron Mordo in some kind of weird horns and also feathers. It was one of the few times that I thought to myself, "What in the world am I watching?" and just immediately turned it off. Not for it just being bad, but being so weird.
Well, something that's going to be weird. Something that's going to be weird is if The Lion King, which Disney considers to be one of their biggest brands, right? So Moana is their biggest princess brand, even though she's not a princess, she says. Lion King is considered to be up there. I mean, it's on par with Toy Story. If that is beaten by little old Paramount with the Blue Blur Sonic the Hedgehog, they've got a major problem that they're going to have to explain to investors. And Iger doesn't want to explain this to investors. So you've got Anthony D'Alessandro here on Deadline saying Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Mufasa in Christmas box office spree with $50 million plus apiece. And the thing that they're arguing here is that Sonic 3 has a legitimate chance to beat The Lion King, which is what we've said. But folks, I'm here to tell you, I don't think that's going to happen. Now, why do I say that Sonic 3 is not going to beat Lion King, despite the fact that I want it to beat Lion King? Well, it's because Disney is going to throw everything they have. I'm talking about, they will spend $200 million plus on marketing for this. They will spend whatever it takes to beat Sonic 3, because the damage that will happen to Disney if Sonic 3 beats The Lion King is tremendous. From an investor standpoint, that is a PR problem they can't have. I do want to say, though, take a look at this. This is why I've got the article up from Anthony D'Alessandro. He wants to make it perfectly clear. He is not on Disney's bad side, because he says, note, it doesn't matter who wins. Just another great moment of all boats rising over the Christmas box office after what is expected to be a record Thanksgiving stretch, besting 2018's $315.6 million 5-day total. In other words, D'Alessandro's like, I don't want this food fight. I don't want there. I'm just talking about it, Disney. I'm just talking about it. Guys, I don't know if Sonic 3 will be able to best Lion King, but I can tell you Disney will throw whatever amount of money it takes, even if it makes it untenable for Lion King Mufasa to make money. They will spend whatever it takes. Everything they have, the kitchen sink is going into the marketing for this. I'm hearing that from sources. We're seeing that. I'm telling you right now, and maybe the panel, are you feeling this way too? You open a video on YouTube and a Lion King ad is on every single time.
Yeah, they don't want that headline that Sonic trumps, Lion King. They don't want that headline, at all coming out about this movie. Lion King, like you said, it's one of the GOATs. It's one of the biggest movies Disney has ever had, franchise-wise, you name it. And to throw that much money to beat Sonic, it's gonna throw some folks for a loop. Like, wait a minute, they had to do this to beat Sonic, like $200-300 million, whatever it's gonna cost, just to beat little old Sonic.
Here's where I think you might be right, bro. Lion King, Mufasa, has all the Dolby, all the 4DX, and all the IMAX theaters locked up. Sonic does not get any of those releases because there can only be one movie in the Dolby theater, and Disney's got that locked up.
And Marvin, you know how that is. It's because Disney has all the cachet with the theaters. Mm-hmm. Disney's the biggest bully on the block, right? And so Paramount is coming in here. Paramount's really struggling. I mean, Paramount needs some help. They don't have the resources to push Disney out of the high-paying theaters. So I think you're exactly right. And I think, by the way, Disney's going to say to those theater owners in January, they're going to say, don't you dare. I don't care if Sonic 3 beat us in the first week. Don't you dare take Mufasa out. Or else, or else we will not run our next Star Wars movie or our next Marvel movie for the additional weeks. We'll take it on Disney Plus. Don't you dare take Mufasa out.
Here's a problem, though, Pro.
Go ahead, Culture.
No, just very quickly. I think the problem is here, Pro, is something you brought up early, but I don't think has been, stated as aggressively as it should have been. Mufasa itself is, as you mentioned, is going to open around 50, maybe $60 million. That's going to be less than a third of the opening for the original,
the original remake.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that.
I love that phrasing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because there's a real PR battle going on right now in regards to Disney. Moana 2 came out, and it had a massive first week.
It did.
And it's had a significant drop off.
Yep.
And now a film the narrative was after the first week, this could be our first $2 billion animated feature film.
Oh.
And then the drop occurred, 80% drop from Tuesday to Tuesday. And so then it became, well, this is going to be on par with Inside Out 2. Like, we don't know which one will be the biggest. Then it dropped to, it's gonna make $1 billion. Moana is here to stay. Now, Moana 2 is looking less and less likely to break the billion. So this also plays into the fear of, I get that other studios are not breaking the billion mark anymore, but it's going to look really bad for Disney if neither The Lion King nor Moana, two of their biggest franchises, if neither of them can break the billion mark. So that's also a part of this play they're doing.
I'm just wondering if in the marketing, you were talking about they were throwing everything at this movie in the marketing. Are they going to have a situation where we maybe see Beyonce and Seth Rogen kind of holding hands, one of them in a very strange outfit, playing with each other's fingers and talking about how we all need to be more kind? Well, we're crying.
No, there is a name attached to this film, not directly attached to this film, but I'm not even sure we want to bring him up. But Beyonce and her husband's daughter is in this film, so therefore her dad is on the red carpet on this one, and they don't need that attached to this film right now.
Not right now. They don't. Nothing about this movie moves the needle, in my opinion. It's just more ordinary Disney stuff. They're remaking, or they're, in this case, not really a remake, but nobody cares. I don't care about this. And I don't think anybody else cares either. It's going to get some people will go and watch it, but I don't think it has the buzz of a Sonic 3 where it's Jim Carrey's possible last movie. He's playing two roles. I think everybody's coming to see that. And Sonic has been on the rise. Listen, sadly and unfortunately, they didn't really have any good plans for this. I don't think anybody was checking for Mufasa anyway. Like, is this really a character we need to go back and visit? It's just not. So, the further adventures of Simba might have been a better move, if they wanted to do something. Maybe
if they had done Simba's Pride, if they had just done Lion King 2, I think they would have had more of it.
I don't know. How many rainbow flags can you attach to Simba exactly?
There's one more thing I just
you'll figure it out.
The fact that Sonic 3 and Lion King, I don't have a single person in my house that is interested in Mufasa in any way. Yeah. And every day they ask me when we're going to see Sonic 3. They want to know when this movie comes out. This right here is going to end up it's filler that's going to go on Disney Plus. They're going to campaign for some award that they've got enough heft to be able to show up to the right party with the right amount of booze in order to get whatever awards they want to try to say that it's a great film in all the ways that don't actually matter for whether or not it's an entertaining film that speaks to children and families together at the same moment. This is corporate product, and I get it. Barry Jenkins, his comments are mystifying to me, like why you would come out and say anything negative about a film like this when this is a commercial for the rest of the Disney catalog before it's a film. And that can happen. That's fine. There's a Knuckles TV show that's a little weird that is supposed to sell Paramount Plus. This, however, no one is interested in what Pumbaa looks like when he's not animated, and yet that is the best thing they've got for humor in this movie. I don't care.
Was that Pumbaa the white lion?
Pumbaa coming up to the camera and like sniffing with his snuffle or whatever, that's cute in animated form. But when it's a photorealistic warthog, ugh,
it's gross.
This is nice. It's nightmare
looking.
Fuel. Yeah,
like nah, I'm good.
That nice dirty brown right next to the nice dirty brown meerkat. I mean, who doesn't love that compared to the bright colors of the Lion King?
Erica, why do you think
that is great? Everything that is great about animation makes the Lion King work and makes this a word I don't want to use to describe it. It's refuse. It is what I would expect from a real life warthog.
So, Erica, why do you think they went with sort of these ugly character designs versus what could have been?
Oh, I don't know. Why ask why? It's Disney nowadays. It's hard to get into their heads and figure out why they're making such crap decisions.
Well, it could be because this is from like they were designing this 3 or 4 years ago, or even older than that. And what have we seen? We've seen the collapse in entertainment that's been designing to uglify things, right? There was a pushback against beauty, and the market pushed back and said, no, actually beautiful and cute and wonderful things and sunshine and all that is good. And so we had a period of time, and this is being developed out of that period of time when Hollywood was obsessed with make things gritty and dark and ugly and unpleasant. So I don't know. We'll see how the movie...
I also think Disney has gotten into this pattern of having so many failed live actions at this point that it doesn't matter how good Mufasa is. They just naturally go into it assuming it's going to be another, disaster. So why are they going to put their money into that? When you compare it to a movie like Sonic, they know what they're going to get, and their money has better value there. And it goes back to, the both and Disney just not making good decisions. And then you have the family unit that's struggling financially. So if they're going to go to a movie, it better be worth my money. Absolutely. And out of the two, I choose Sonic for my kids or my grandkids over Mufasa. Mufasa's going to hold the attention of kids. It's not animated in a way that I think is going to keep their attention for is it 2 hours? How long is this movie?
Given the expense of doing these kind of things right now, probably 90 minutes. I don't know.
Unless it's a mess. I mean, look at how apparently Captain America Brave New World is like 2 and 40 minutes. So
good Lord.
Yeah.
Frozen didn't hold the attention of little girls. It didn't hold the attention of my nieces. And I'm not seeing where kids are going to be sitting there quietly for Mufasa.
Don't you think that right on 2 hours, by the way?
Don't you think that Disney would have actually done better financially by filming and then releasing into movie theaters the Broadway version of The Lion King? Yes. I literally think that if they would have just professionally filmed the Broadway version of The Lion King and put that in theaters, not only would it do better financially for the company, I think it would kill at the movie theater, but then it would also cause more people to want to go to New York and see it on Broadway. I don't know. It's a very simple decision, but to spend all this money on something nobody wants that's completely, really unproven, it baffles the mind. Who the heck are the executives making decisions like this at Disney these days? Granted, they're probably making new decisions that are going to affect the future that maybe will have switched direction, but I have no faith in the company at this point in time.
Bob,
To add to that, I'm wondering, where are the investors in all this? Like, they're just sitting quiet. Like, isn't anybody giving any pushback? I mean, these people are human too. They got kids, grandkids. I mean, aren't they seeing the disaster? Or is there not anything being said? Like, and we don't have an insider, I guess, to know what's going on behind that curtain. But I'm just sitting here like, what? Why? Just pull your money out and go somewhere else. Why are you enabling this? Like, what's in it for you at this point? I don't know. I get really irritated with the whole thing now.
Marvin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think all the marketing money in the world is going to do enough to make a large amount of people suddenly become interested in this film. I hope
you're right.
I think people are increasingly apathetic to it. Now, however, I do think that you're going to see it be close. And the reason it's going to be close, and the reason I think Disney is going to hedge Sonic out is what we talked about before. It's going to be that Dolby, the Dolby 3D, the 4DX theaters, the IMAX theaters, because that's just simple. So it can in essence sell fewer tickets than Sonic, but still make more money than it at the box office, and that's all anybody's going to look at.
So I'm going to hedge my statement with this, because earlier I said that I think Mufasa will beat Sonic 3 because Disney will do everything in their power, and they have plenty of power to use. The caveat, the exception to that is, if Sonic 3 is wonderful, if it is as good as the trailers are, then repeat viewings could save Sonic and get it above Mufasa. And I would love to see that. It is such fun getting to spend time together, folks, but we have come to the end of yet another video. Well, that makes the mainstream scratch their heads, pull their hair out, and wonder, how is it we continue to do what we do? But you know what we do this for? It's for you. To keep bringing all the knowledge of entertainment, explaining what's going on in Hollyweird each and every day. And you can help us continue on that way by clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. Share this out on your favorite social media platforms, and we would love to have you drop a comment right on down below. Share your thoughts because, well, your thoughts truly do matter, and we mean it. As we get ready to say goodbye, we end with the common refrain. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.